Okay, hopefully this will be a quick video. There's this idea that Melchizedek and Jesus Christ were the same person. Directly from the biblical text, that isn't the idea that you should get. That's not the concept that's taught here. However, there are some Gnostic texts and from the Qumran and all these different texts that have different ideas of who Melchizedek was. And one of the concepts was that Melchizedek and Jesus Christ were the same person in these extra-biblical texts. But also extra-biblical texts, some argue the idea that maybe Melchizedek was Michael the Archangel. Some Jewish texts argue that it was Shem from, the Old Testament Shem, that they were one and the same person. I think someone argued that it was Noah, some other ancient text. So outside of the Bible, there's all these different theories of who Melchizedek was. But just from the biblical text alone, it just doesn't give you that information of who he was. But you do not get the indication that it is Jesus Christ, that they are one and the same. So let's read from Hebrews chapter 7. For this Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High God, who met Abraham returning from the slaughter of kings, and blessed him, to whom also Abraham gave a tenth part of all, first being interpretation, king of righteousness, and also after the king of Salem, which is king of peace. Without father, without mother, without descent, having neither beginning of days, nor end of life, but made unto the Son of God, abideth a priest continually. Now consider how great this man was, unto whom even the patriarch Abraham gave a tenth of all his spoils. Okay, so the indication that gives some people the idea that they are one and the same, it says he is without descent, having neither beginning of days nor end of life. And a lot of people have different ideas about why he doesn't have an end of life. And maybe he was, like Elijah, caught up in the whirlwind and translated, so he didn't taste death. He just was taken directly up into heaven because he was so righteous. But why does it say that he doesn't have mother, father, or lineage here? Verse 6, it says, but he whose descent is not counted from. And basically he's just saying that we don't have his descendant or his lineage, and we don't have the records for it. So he used that in a parable in which Melchizedek was a type of Christ, like an example of Christ. And the reason why you know that Jesus Christ and Melchizedek are not the same person is right here when it says, now consider how great this man was, and when unto whom even the patriarch Abraham gave a tenth of the spoil. Okay, Abraham met with a man, not with deity or something like that, and Jesus Christ didn't become flesh until much, much later. So it says that he was a man. And there's some other indications as well. And other indications are like in verse 3 where it says, but made like unto the Son of God, abideth a priest continually. So he wasn't the Son of God, he was made like unto the Son of God. And that's what I was talking about, this parable that the author of Hebrews is using. He's saying like unto. In fact, that's the same word that's used in all the parables in the New Testament, saying that he's likening it into a mustard seed. It's like unto that. And so that's the parable nature of this example that he's giving, paralleling the two different people. Also, another indication is found in the verses of 14 and 15 of the same text. It says, for it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning the priesthood. And yet it is far more evident, for after the similitude of Melchizedek there ariseth another priest. Okay, so it's saying that Christ is another priest, not Melchizedek. And another is the word heteros, which means the other, another, other, to number the other of two. You have two and the other, and these are the ways that they're translated in the text. So another priest, that is, other than Melchizedek. Now, the reason I bring this up is because critics of the Mormon Church like to use this idea, and they promote the idea that Melchizedek and Jesus Christ are the same person. Why do they want to do that? Because if only one person held the Melchizedek priesthood, then they can say Mormons can't have the priesthood, therefore Mormons don't have any authority. This is what the Bishop of Antioch, Theophilus, said concerning Melchizedek. And at that time there was a righteous king called Melchizedek in the city of Salem, which is now Jerusalem. This was the first priest of all high priests of the Most High God. And from his time priests were found in all the earth.